This tutorial is on making an interesting background using a zigzag kind of wavy effect. The way we start out is to open a brand new document that is 400 pixels by 400 pixels with a white background. The tools that we're going to need to know how to use for this recipe for making a background, we're going to need to know the gradient tool right here on your toolbar. We're going to need to know how to duplicate layers on the layer menu at the top, duplicating layers. We're also going to need to know how to flatten and merge layers. We're going to need to know how to change the layer blending modes. That's over here in the layers palette. Right now it's on normal. We have lots of other options. We'll be changing it to things like lighten and soft light and multiply, and seeing how those different layer styles affect the outcome of the final image. We'll be using the transform tool under the edit menu, flipping our image horizontal and vertical. We'll also be doing image adjustments, hue and saturation, and we'll be working with hue, which is just another word for color, adjusting that, how saturated or intense the color is, and lightness and darkness. Okay, so let's get started. There's just a couple easy steps to this. We just keep repeating the same steps over and over again and layering them up to create the effect. We'll start with the gradient tool. I'm already clicked on mine. In the settings for gradient tool, come up to the very top here and make sure that you are using the foreground to background gradient, and then make sure you're set to black and white. Make sure you have linear gradient selected and set the mode to difference. Now that all that's left to get started is just to drag your mouse 3 or 4 times to create an interesting combination of zigzag sort of kind of puckery effect look on the screen. Don't do too many. You're going to continue to add and build upon this, so you're going to create more of the effect as you go along. Next step, we're going to duplicate this layer. Layer menu, duplicate layer. Right now in the layers palette you can see 2 copies of the same thing. Let's take this layer though and let's filter it. Let's put a wave effect on there. So we're going to go to the distort menu, down to wave. All my settings are already in place here. You want to make sure your wave settings are set to something very similar. You can always adjust them for your own effect to make yours more custom. Click OK. This layer, you can see now over here is background copy. It's got a little bit more of a soft edged effect as opposed to the hard lines of the original background. We're going to kind of make them kind of blend together by switching the layer mode to lighten. Now you can kind of see some of the background starting to show through a little bit. Next, we're just going to repeat those same couple of steps 2 or 3 more times. Let's copy the layer, duplicate, OK, filter, distort, wave, same settings, only let's click randomize so that the lines look a little bit different this time. OK, and it's already lightened since that's what we had before. But before I continue, this time I want to transform it. I want to flip it. Let's see. Let's go flip vertical. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Let's do our layer duplicate again. And filter, distort, wave, randomize. That's kind of interesting. Okay, and let's transform it one more time. Okay, that's pretty interesting. And I think I'm going to do it just one more. Layer, duplicate, filter, distort, wave, same settings, randomize. That's cool. Okay, one more time, and I think this time for transform, instead of just flipping it up and down or left and right, I'm going to just go 90 degrees. Okay, that kind of fills it in a little different direction. That looks kind of cool. All right, I have 5 different layers actually now. I'm going to merge them all together. So instead of 5 separate layers, we're going to smash them all into one. So go to Layer, flatten the image. You can see now it's all one. And then instead of black and white, let's give it some color. Image, adjustment, hue and saturation, and click the colorize box. And now I have the option to take my hue slider and find just the perfect color that I want this background to be. I think I'm going to go kind of more these greens. And for saturation, I really want it deeper green, so I'm going to pull in more intense color and maybe darken it up just a tiny bit so it's not so white. And there you have it. Zigzag wavy background effect. You could stop here, or you could continue duplicating this and changing the layer modes to create an even more unique and different effect. But from here, with those simple steps of duplicating, filtering, and rotating, changing layer styles, you can do the sky's the limit. Okay, and that's how you make a zigzag wavy effect.